Hi, welcome to Django series. In this video, I will talk about how to process static file in a Django. The static files are nothing but CSS file, JavaScript, images, audio, video files. In Django, static files are handled under the package Django contrib static files. It is used to collect the static file from each of your application into one of the location that can easily serve into the production. We can create a static folder similar like a template folder. So under the root directory, we can create a static folder, and inside the static folder, we can create the required files like CSS, JavaScript or images. Moving ahead, load template tag. It loads the custom template tag set into the Django application. The syntax is opening bracket percentile load module name. Let us see one example. That is opening bracket percentage sign load my tag. My tag is my module. Suppose I want to filter out individual element from my modules. Then I can put an argument with the help of the syntax opening bracket percentile sign load s1 from my tag. So individual s1 element we can retrieve from this module name. Moving ahead, static template tag. The static template tag is used to link a static file that are saved into the static root. The syntax is opening bracket percentile sign static as a keyword and the file name that I want to be served as a static file. Example, opening bracket percentile sign load static. So to load the static folder under my HTML page. And after that, then we can integrate according to the need of the application. So example is, let's say I want to integrate one of the image or CSS file in my HTML file. So syntax is under the link, we have to put in a href tag static name of the file that I want to load into the HTML page. Similarly, if I want to load an image, then we can write a syntax image source. Under the source, we can integrate static and the image that I want to be load on the HTML page. Now moving ahead, what are the steps to be followed to add a static file under the project? So one by one, first we'll discuss the steps and then we'll implement all the steps one after the another. So let us discuss the step first. The first step is to create a project. To create a project, we need to type a command in a terminal django-admin start project name of the project. Once we create the project, then we can create an application. Either you can create a single application or multiple application according to the need of your project. So to create an application under the project, you need to type a command under the terminal python manage.py startapp name of the application. One after another, we can create a multiple application. Once the applications are created, then we can inject the application into the project. So to inject the application under the project, we need to open the setting file, and under the setting file, we have to scroll it down to the install app. Under the install app, we can add this customize application. After that, we can create a template folder under our main project. Inside the template folder, we can create an application folder to avoid the conflict between the same HTML pages. Then we can register the template folder in a setting file. Once we complete the template settings, then we have to create a static folder under the project directory. The similar way that we have created a template. And then we can add a static file. It may be CSS, it may be images, or it may be the JavaScript. Step number 8, write the view function, that is the business logic for a respective application. Once we complete the business logic, then we can define the URL for view function of the particular application. Either we can write into the project URL or we can create a separate URL under the application. That we'll see during the implementation. After that, we can write a template file code and a static file code to render that file on the HTML pages. So now we'll discuss how we can perform these steps through the coding. So let us start the discussion through coding. So the step number 1 is create a project. To create a project, you can type in a terminal django-admin start project name of the project. So here I'll use the project name is software professional. Once the project is created, it contains certain set of files. We already discussed all these set of files. So once the project is created, we'll go under the project folder, professional, and under the project, we are going to create the application. To create the application, the command is python manage.py startapp name of the application. So here I'll use the two application, tester and encoder. So first I'll create my tester application. Once the application is created, it comes under the project folder and certain set of files are inbuilt into the application. In the similar way, I'll create the second application, that is coder. So same command I'll use, python manage.py startapp, name of the application is coder. Once the application is created, the similar way another folder is get created under the project with some inbuilt set of files. Once both the applications are created, the third step is to inject that application under the project. So to inject the application under the project, we need to go under the project setting files. We need to scroll till the install app. Already some apps are there. These are the inbuilt apps are there, that is installed. And we created two customized applications. The first application is tester and second application is coder. Now these two applications are injected into the Django project. Next step is to create the template folder under the project. So I'll go under the project and I'll create the new folder. Name of the folder is templates. Under the template, I'll create the another folder according to the application. So I have created two applications. One is tester and another one is coder. So I'll create two separate folders, tester and coder. The purpose to create these two folders separate is to avoid the conflict between the same HTML page under the application. So under the tester, I'll add the two pages. So two HTML pages here I'll add. The first one is jtest.html, junior test HTML, and I'll add one more HTML page under the same application, stest.html. Similar way, I'll create two HTML files under the coder application. The name of first file is jrcode, that is junior code.html, and I'll use one more file under the same folder, that is srcode senior coder.html file. So in this way, I'll create the HTML files under the template folder. Once the file are created, then I'll register this template under the settings.py file. So again, go to the project folder, open the settings.py, go to the template directory. Okay, here we need to add the template directory. Now we add a template directory in settings.py file. So using template dir, we are going to add the template directory. So I'll add os.path.join base directory and name of the folder that we have created. So templates is the folder we have created. This particular OS shows an error. So we need to import this package. So I'll go to the starting point of the file and I'm going to add this package. So I'm going to import OS package under the file. After that, we need to check whether that template directory is properly set or not. So we are going to add that template directory. Along with that template directory has been added into this template list. So here I am going to add this template directory. First of all, I'll verify whether that directory has been successfully set on the specific location or not. For that, we need to go under the project, say software professional, and then we'll check python settings.py. See, under that software professional template folder is perfectly set. So again, I'll come outside that inner folder. So template directory is properly set under the setting.py file. So after that, we have to create the static folder under the project. So we need to go to the project and create the folder static. Under the static, we can add a different files. So under the static, I'm going to separate out CSS file under the CSS folder. JavaScript file, I'm going to separate out under the JS folder. The similar way, I'm going to add one more folder to segregate the images. So img is the folder. So under the static folder, I'm going to add these three separate folders: CSS, image, and JavaScript. Now we need to add this static directory in a setting.py file. So again, go to the setting.py file, scroll down the file, go to the last tag static files. So you can find static URL here. Now here we are going to add the static folder setting. So first of all, we are going to add the static directory, similar like we did for the template. os.path.join from the base directory and name of the folder. So we already created a name folder is static. After that, we are going to set the static directory of the static files. Is equal to list. Under the list, we are going to pass the static directory. After that, we will verify whether that static directory is set under the project or not. So I'll go under the project, so CD software professional, and under the project we are going to check by using the command python settings.py, so that we can verify the static folder is properly set under the project. So both the setting template and statics are done over here. So I'll come outside that inner project folder. And now next part is to write the view in the individual application. So I'll go to the application, I'll explore that tester and coder application and write the views under the application. So first of all, I'll go under the tester application and open the views.py. We know that business logic we can write under the views.py file. So under this view.py file, we'll write two functions, junior tester and senior tester. So first of all, I'll write the function junior tester. Parameter to the function is a request. Then that function will return the HTML page. So return request is the first parameter, and the second parameter is the HTML file name. So under the tester application, we have jtest.html file that are going to be written the content of that file. Similarly, I write the function senior tester, doing first parameter is a request, and that function is also return the HTML page, return render. The first parameter is a request to that function, and the second one is the HTML page. So under the tester application, we have test.html page. We'll just verify that both the pages are correct or not. So we'll open the template folder. Under the template folder, we have a tester application. JTest and STest are the two HTML pages. So these two view function will write for the tester application. Now we'll write the code inside that both the HTML file. So first of all, I'll open the jtest.html, which is initially empty. So I'll write some sample code over here. HTML, under the HTML, I'll write the body tag. And inside that, I'll write the h1 heading tag, and I'll write the message, I am a junior tester. The simple message I'll write over here. I copied this content as it is, and I'll open the another page, stest, and paste the content. Only I replace the message, instead of junior tester, I'm writing senior tester message in the HTML page. Now this HTML page already been set over here. After that, views are completed, templates are completed. Then we have to set the URLs under the application. So first of all, I'll go to the project folder and set the URLs for the application. So open the project folder, and under that, open the url.py. Under the url.py, we have to add a function include. We already discussed this function in my previous video. You can watch that video to understand the functionality of include function. Now here I need to add a path for our tester application. So I just add the tester link over here, and then I'll add the include function, which consists of path from the tester URL. So this URL is updated, that is the project URL. Copy the content of this project URL completely, and then we can create one URL file under the application. So we can create the file urls.py to redirect the views from this application. We'll copy the content from the main URLs. We need to modify few contents of this url.py file. So first of all, I'll remove this commented line of code. So I remove the include function. We don't want to include any application over here. First of all, we'll add the tester views. So from tester, I'm going to import the views so that we can access all the functions under the view files. And then we'll modify this URL pattern. So I just modify with the function name, that is JTester. Under the tester application, the first function is JTester, and I'm going to call the function here. Let's say views.JTester. Similar way, I'm going to add one more path for senior tester. So as tester, and I'm going to call the view, that is as testers, that is a senior tester. So both the functions has been called under the application URLs, and already that application URL has been set under the main project URL. Now all the task is done. Now I'll execute the project by using the command python manage.py run server, and if it works completely fine, then we'll get an URL. We just need to copy this URL and paste into the browser. We have a tester application, we are included in the project. So under the tester application, JTester. So here just print a message, I am a junior tester. Now next task is to add image and to set a CSS to this particular HTML page using the static file. So now I'll again go to the code, and now I'll add the static file code under the HTML file. So first of all, I'll open the jtest.html, and under that page, I'm going to add the image. I already created a static folder which consists of 3 folders: CSS, image, and JavaScript. So under the image folder, we have these 2 images, test1 and test2. We can copy the multiple images into this folder. Once we copied the images, we need to render this image into the HTML page. So first of all, we need to load the static part under the HTML page. So before the HTML start, we need to load the static first. Once we load the static, then we have to add the image tag under the body tag. So here I'm going to add the image tag under the source. I'm going to add the static part, then path of the image. So under the image folder, test1.jpg image is there, and then we can close this tag. After that, we can execute the code python manage.py run server. Once we get the URL, copy that URL and paste into the browser. We have a tester application. So I just go to the tester application. Under that, JTester is a function which consists of that HTML page. We can find the image has been displayed. We can change the size of this image. Either we can increase or decrease the size. The first part is complete. Now the second part, so we'll again come back to the code. And now we have to add the CSS part into this HTML page. So go to the CSS folder, add one CSS file. So add the new file, that is style.css, and add some CSS part inside it. So I'm going to add a body tag, and under that I'm going to give the background color. Let's say background color is, let's say aqua. This particular color I'll provide to the background. Now the CSS file I want to add into the HTML page. I'll again go to my HTML page, and we know that under the HTML tag we can add this CSS part. So under the head tag, I'm going to add this link. So link consists of 2 parts. So array style sheet, and the second part is href, that is the reference. Href is our style sheet. So here I use the same method that I use for image. So static, and here I'll provide the path. So we created a folder CSS, and under that folder style.css is there. Save this code and again go back to the browser. After refresh, we'll see that the style sheet changes are reflected onto the browser. So hope you understand that how we are going to create a project, add the template, add the static file under the project and how we can use the static file to render into the HTML page. Thanks for watching this video.